Topping the news at 5 tonight is our weather as we have a first alert day in effect. Good evening, I'm Joey Dania, joined by meteorologist Kyle Dickens. And Kyle, the storms are arriving in our
They are firing off. Yeah, we got that tornado watch for areas to the south. Let's jump right to first alert Doppler radar here. We'll show you what's going on right now, and really concerned with some areas down towards the Burlington area and Keokuk right now. You can see that is where the heaviest of the activity is at this point. We're watching that storm also out into Henry County, Iowa, moving through Mount Pleasant right now. Has been a storm that we've been keeping an eye on. Areas up towards Muscatine and off to the west here, we're talking about some pretty heavy rainfall right now, but severe wise, I would say right now, Hancock County, maybe into parts of Henderson County, eventually McDonough County. That's going to be where we're concerned with here. Now let's take a look here a little bit closer. I'm going to zoom in here down to this area, specifically here into parts of Hancock County and Lee County, Iowa. And you can see this area just to the north of Keokuk. I'll go in a little bit closer here too. We've been watching because there's been a little bit of circulation going on with this. There is no active tornado warning right now, but it's something that we want to keep an eye on because these storms are close enough to a boundary here where we could see the potential of maybe a quick spin up type tornado. Now let's go over to the velocity product here, and what this shows is the circulation within the storm if we are seeing some, and indeed we are. Here from Rock Creek to near Nauvoo, there's been some indication of some circulation there. Again, there is no warning at this time, but it continues, and that might be a warning there. We'll see if that is if we've got any type of warning that just came in there. No. Okay, so we are keeping an eye on that, but again, that's going to be an area we continue to watch. We do have that tornado watch in effect for this region. So Carthage up towards La Harpe, this area right now, this stronger storm is going to be making its way through here within the next half hour or so. So we'll continue to watch that. Taking a little bit wider look, you can see all these storms firing off here along this front from Quincy up towards Iowa City here. That's all going to be making its way into our area over the next several hours. We've got that tornado watch there in those counties in red until 10 o'clock. Also, we can pick up some very heavy rainfall in the system all the way up to the I-80 corridor here and to the south out towards Bureau County, Stark County, Knox County as well. We're under a flood watch until tomorrow morning. We'll continue to track that. Right now outside, it's gloomy out there. It's been raining off and on here in the metro, 75 degrees. Little humid, 65, feels like 75 though. We're going to continue to track these storms here again across the area, warmer to the south, and where it is warmer, they got a little bit more fuel for those storms. So we're going to continue to track. If we get any warnings, we'll jump on and let you know. But definitely continue to be weather aware here for the next couple hours. Joey?
Well, we've reached the final day of the fair.
Right, and that storm we were watching down into Hancock County now has a tornado warning that was just issued here. This is going to be until 5:45, includes Dallas City, Nauvoo, off towards areas in Carthage as well. When we get back, we'll continue to track this and give you the latest information on what you need to know coming up right after this break.
And now, your first alert forecast with meteorologist Kyle Dickens.
All right, now that we have a tornado warning, we're going to stay on with you now, give you the latest information of what you need to know. We've got this tornado warning for Hancock County until 5:45. We've been seeing this very clear indication of circulation right here just to the east of Nauvoo. You can see those greens and reds. When we look at this and we see those greens and reds matching up to each other, good indication we've got circulation going on here. Greens indicate winds moving towards the radar, reds away. This is in a vicinity too. We've got this boundary, this warm front that these storms have been riding along. Might even have another area of circulation here too, just to the east or over top of Rock Creek right now. So two areas of circulation that we're watching near the Sonora area here, just southeast of Nauvoo. These are moving off to the northeast at about 20 to 30 miles an hour. So we continue to watch that. We'll throw reflectivity on here, and that is going to show how heavy the rain is. We'll track that and also put that loop on there. And you can see right there is where we're seeing that tightening circulation. Things are really starting to get going with this storm. I'll back off here for just a second and zoom out, get a little bit wider view here. As again, we are watching this tornado warning again here for northern Hancock County until 5:45. Let's take a wider view. So if you see your community there, we're talking Dallas City here in about just about 5 minutes. Take shelter now, La Harpe, about 5:30, eventually up into the Good Hope area, Emmett, Ellison as well once we get to the top of the hour. So that is where this is tracking off. Again, we've been concerned with this area along and south of I-80, specifically closer to that Highway 34 corridor. That's where we've been watching these storms as they've been kind of growing here this evening. with that approaching front and some veering of the winds as you go up in the atmosphere. We were concerned, and now we're starting to see these storms spin, and you can kind of see that here. If you look closely, as this thing moves off to the northeast, you can kind of see it kind of wanting to tuck back in there. That is a good sign that we're seeing this rotation. As we are indicating here, near the Nauvoo area, just to the east there is where we're seeing that circulation. This thing continues to track off to the northeast here. Again, tornado warning continues until 5:45 for Hancock County. Depending on how this thing evolves, we might see this extended. The thing is if you were joining us last night or this morning, we were talking about this. This is not going to be the widespread severe weather event today, more of an isolated event. And here we are seeing that now come to fruition, where we see these quick spin up type tornadoes. They can happen fast, but you got kind of a short window of when we could see these. And right now, that's exactly what's going on. These storms specifically have that potential, and you can see that thing wrapping up there. So Rock Creek to Nauvoo, up towards Dallas City and La Harpe right now. Take shelter, get to your basement. What you want to do is, if you don't have a basement, you want to get to the center part of your house. If you have a closet or a bathroom, you want to put as many walls between you and the outside as you can. And again, take this seriously. Even though we're not talking about those big destructive tornadoes, we could still see some damage, and it certainly could cause issues or even put your life in danger there if you get under one of these. Also, talking about a lot of heavy rainfall with these too. Some good lightning as well being indicated here on radar. So we continue with this tornado warning until 5:45. Okay, north of Ferris, possible tornado north of Ferris right now, according to the National Weather Service. So we're continuing to watch that. So another area of rotation here. We'll probably see another warning pop up here for parts of Hancock County. But you can see that is primarily the storm of concern right now. We were watching this storm moving through Mount Pleasant and Henry County, Iowa. It has weakened a little bit, as you can see out ahead of it. Places like Muscatine up towards, down towards New Boston, rather, you're getting into some heavy rainfall. Well, what that's going to do is kind of turn over that atmosphere, so that storm doesn't have a ton of juice to work with. So not so concerned about that. We could still see, we got to watch it because we still can get those quick spin ups. But once you get down here a little bit closer to Macomb and south of Burlington here, just northeast of Keokuk, you can see this storm has really kind of a lot more energy to work with. It's riding that boundary. It's in a bad place right now, and that's why we're seeing that tightening up there. And that's why we got that tornado warning again for parts of Hancock County here until 5:45. What's happening here is you can see the storm expands, gets bigger, starts wrapping itself around there as it gets caught up in those, in some of that wind shear that we have available. And that's where we're seeing that circulation just outside of Rock Creek to the southeast of Nauvoo right now. Tornado warning continues until 5:45. And now that's moving a little bit more easterly. It's slowing down in comparison to these other storms you could see out ahead of it. And we've got some pretty expansive development here. It's tapping into some of that moisture to the south. So again, on the flip side of the tornado threat, we continue with some maybe flooding as well, with that flood watch continuing here. So let's go back to velocity here. I'll turn that on, and we could see again what we're watching for those winds inside the storm, that potential circulation. Couple areas that we're concerned with here. Again, when you see those reds and greens starting to match up to each other, that's when we got to worry that we've got maybe a tornado spinning around there. And so greens represent winds moving towards the radar up in Davenport, reds away. So when those start butting up to each other, again, that's a good indication that there's some spin going on. And according to the Weather Service, something that they're watching as well, and I would agree to this, is maybe two areas, maybe one right there and another area of circulation right in that vicinity as well. So okay, new update here. Okay, funnel cloud north of Ferris right now being reported here. So that's, again, as we were mentioning here, we're watching these areas of circulation. So we got a report of a funnel cloud north of Ferris here. I'm going to step off here and get some information on that. So we are starting to see some development here and getting some ground truth on this. Certainly radar, the signatures here, folks, are pretty strong. So we definitely indicate that. So yes, according to the Weather Service, spotter north of Ferris has a view of a funnel cloud in these storms. It has not touched the ground at this time. Harp, you're probably getting into some lightning right now, hearing some thunder, getting some heavy rain as well. You're on the outside of that tornado warning. You're not technically in that, but still not a bad idea to maybe move to your shelter, move at least indoors for now. And then if we see an extension of that, we will certainly let you know and jump on here with any updates to that. Right now, downstream here, again, these continue to move very slow. We're talking east at about 15 miles an hour. Eventually to the northeast here, we'll see these move. But Roseville, heads up, this will be kind of getting close to you here within about an hour or so. So once we get to the 6 o'clock hour, we might talk about this thing moving into your vicinity. Macomb as well. No warnings there. We continue with that warning here for northern parts of Hancock County. So going to jump around here real quick here, zoom in and get you some hometowns, get you some times of arrival for the storm. As I mentioned earlier, we continue with that confirmed report of a funnel cloud. So that was that's some ground truth that we had on this storm. The rotation is certainly there still, but not as strong. And what I'll do here is, again, the greens and reds together, that's where we watch. When we go back here a couple frames, you can see that thing was much stronger. Once we got, this is about the point where we issued that, or where the Weather Service put out that tornado warning. And then you can see over time, it does appear it is weakening a little bit. Certainly not as strong, not the most incredible circulation I've ever seen. But the storm itself is really starting to broaden out. It's starting to weaken a little bit. I'll also go back here and you can see right about here, you can see that thing was a lot stronger looking. And we'll switch, I'll switch here and you can get a better view of how that storm was kind of hooking around there. Right here, yeah, you could see at that point, it was definitely a lot tighter of a storm. You could even see a little bit of that hooking going on here just north of 136 northeast of Keokuk when that storm was down there. But over time here, look at that thing is kind of weakening. It's getting broader, more round. Definitely indication that this thing is weakening. So here, just a few minutes left here. We want to continue with that tornado warning until 5:45. Again, very much over rural areas at this time, but right now it's getting ready to cross, or has crossed, 94 here towards Durham, down towards Pilot Grove, eventually towards La Harpe again. I want to stress, though, I think that the circulation over really is going to weaken, and we probably will see this thing expire at 5:45, and I don't think we'll see an extension of this. So we'll continue to watch that, though. We could see, given the location of it, doesn't mean that we can't see this thing kind of regenerate a little bit. So we'll continue to watch for that. But taking a broad view here, you could see we've got that continue with that tornado warning till 5:45. We'll take a view here. You can see heavy rain from Iowa City down towards Macomb with this severe thunderstorm and tornado warning right now here for northern Hancock County. Heavy storm moving through Henry County, Iowa right now, but heavy rainfall could be expected here over the next several hours, eventually moving into the metro here within probably an hour or so. Very slow moving, so flooding might be a concern as well. But the tornado threat is going to be limited here to, I think, areas along and south of Highway 34. We continue with that, again, that tornado warning here for northern Hancock County until 5:45. Storm does appear to be weakening, but hey, La Harpe, not a bad idea to take shelter. So we've got about 5 seconds, I think, till we hit 5:30 here, and we're going to take it to NBC Nightly News here. If any new warnings develop or pop on here, we will cut back in and let you know of those warnings. And certainly we're also going to have the little crawl running at the bottom of the screen here. But again, recap here till 5:45. We continue with that tornado warning for northern portions of Hancock County. Meteorologist Kyle Dickens will take it back to programming for now. And again, we'll cut in with any new updates.